Hi everybody, Matt Lawton here. This is the Astrological Winds channel, and we're going to take a look at the astrological weather forecast for the week of October 5th through 11th. And if you'll remember our continuing thread line of our story, of our transits going from week to week, we are right in the middle of the Mars retrograde period. And Pluto just went direct yesterday, Sunday, so talked about that a couple times. Very interesting now because things are going to start moving forward, time of transformation. So this week there's 4 things I'd like to talk about, and I've been bringing a lot of really heavy energy to the blog in the last few weeks, few months, even this year, really. And because it is a heavy year of transformation. And this month, as I've been saying all year, was going to be one of the peak months of the intensity of that transformation, and mainly because of our 3 Capricorn outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, are being squared by retrograde Mars. They're second squares, that middle square. And so last week we had, or it was even 2 weeks ago now, we had the second square to Saturn. And now Pluto's gone direct, so it's pretty much standing still. Very strong right now. The power of transformation, which many times comes through destruction and the ends of certain things, and then the phoenix rising from the ashes of that destruction. So on Friday we have the second exact Mars-Pluto square. So I want to talk about that a little bit first, and then I've got 2 or 3 things we can talk about that we actually have some positive energy coming in this week too. So it's, yes, the Mars-Pluto square is going to be very intense, and as you can see here in the United States, the president actually ended up getting the virus this week, and as Pluto slowed down, he ended up in the hospital. May or may not be out of danger yet. Pluto is standing still right now, and it goes direct. He may take some of us with him to the underworld. Maybe some of us who are battling that Pluto-Mars energy that can bring health crisis on an individual level. Some of us may lose that battle, so we may see some big change again, shifting. But long and short of it is this: it is a time of powerful, powerful transformation, powerful, powerful changing, powerful, powerful energy, and it is a retrograde hit right now. Mars is in Aries, the most individualistic sign there is. It's retrograde, so it's being forced to come back in, forced to go back into the individual. And right now, the crisis, the battle that Pluto is bringing is within. During this retrograde hit, it's not what's going on outside you that's bringing this powerful transformation. It's what's going on inside you. And right now, maybe going through some kind of crisis, some kind of tension, some kind of challenge that has to be dealt with inside you first. If you don't transform what's inside you first, then you would not be able to transform the world around you. So during this retrograde hit, many of us may do things that bring about the self-destruction and purging of many of the things we need to let go of. And it may feel really odd, imbalanced, self-conscious, conflicting, angering, egotistical kind of energy. And every time we reach out and try to put it out on the world or on someone else, it's going to come back and hit us hard, or even harder too, until we realize that that transformation has to occur within us. So this can be violent, destructive energy within ourselves and in the outer world too. We could see a lot of events in the outer world in these next few weeks that are destructive, violent, and signaling, once again, a great transformation occurring. So, lots of energy available with Mars Pluto, incredible amounts of energy available to climb the highest mountain, go the furthest distance. All that is accessible right now, but we have to deal with what's within us in order to be effective in the outside world around us. So very, very strong energy, and this can pit the individual against the group, and the individual has to come back and not be looking outside for the answer. The answer is somewhere within themselves, but we may bring events to us that are going to have us do this purging that that literally is kind of almost self-destructive. And then the other thing is, we have to be aware of where we are and who we're with, the situations we put ourselves in, because this energy is very apt to manifest in physical form in the world. And if we put ourselves in a dangerous situation with dangerous people, dangerous places, then we are bringing, once again, possibly our own self-destruction to us. And there's going to be lessons in this. So we don't want to, get ourselves in a situation of physical harm. We need to heal the wounds within us first. But if we are not thinking, and we're in power struggles and disagreements and arguments and fights, out and out open warfare with other people, and we're doing underhanded acts, ruthless acts behind the scenes, trying to be a power tripper, even in the most subtle ways, it's going to come back to us. And it will be another way that you are self-destructing your own ends. But maybe that's the path that needs to be taken now to get a new view, to wipe the slate clean, to purge, and let this new, massively creative, transformative energy of Mars Pluto in, and allow us to come back into our own power. And then when Mars goes direct, we can bring that power out to others. So once again, all week peaking, all month going on through that Mars retrograde cycle, and we'll get a third direct hit of this come, I think, December with this one. All right, on Wednesday we have a mixed aspect that can be useful as long as we are able to keep ourselves in control, and that is Mercury opposite Uranus. So it's a combination of Mercury, the lower mind, with Uranus, the higher mind. The mind of intellect connects to the mind of intuition. And the thing with that is, it's like, boom, plugging in an electrical current. So we really are closing a loop here, and it's an opposition. So what we're going to be doing probably is, it's going to be a lot about relationships again, and things that are being brought to us in relationships that are very exciting, stimulating information. And the issue with that is it can get a lot of us worked up into a nervous frenzy almost internally, get the nervous system shooting energy out, and get kind of sloppy and undisciplined with our thinking. We'll have some brilliant thoughts, no doubt, but we can lose them just as quickly because we're just like, and so like a lot of it has to do with making decisions based on that energy, and it's kind of like having to make quick decisions, so that's where it can trip us up, because a lot of times those decisions are half thought out. But that being said, other people, especially people you have like partnerships with, and it's not just, once again, not just romantic partnerships. I want to express that so many times, that like partnerships come in many different forms. So those partnerships are going to be very stimulating to us, are going to have us have to make some serious decisions rather quickly that can either lead to like some real exciting, stimulating information that we're getting and that's useful to us, and or it can be like upsetting to us because it shakes us out of our world. So it has a lot to do with your attitude, really, whether this aspect is a good aspect or a bad aspect. But the frenzied, worked up energy is almost it's going to really affect everyone. You're going to feel that. So it really depends on how you deal with that energy. If you try to find a way to ground that energy sometimes. But really good time to use technology, science, math, the occult, like astrology, things like that, to really help make some decisions. So, and then the weekend, next weekend, we've got some real sweet energy coming in. So like Saturday, we have a Venus trine Uranus, which is just a wonderful, wonderful transit to pick up off of that Mercury Uranus, actually, where you may find yourself in situations where you're getting new experiences with new people, or people you don't see as often, or people that you just form short-term relationships with, and they're very exciting and stimulating relationships. So like, so it's like a lot of like creative juice download coming in, but this is more of a flow because it's a trine. So like really nice connections between people next weekend, and just like cutting edge type stuff being shared, that it's like really where you can take like ideas that you're hearing from different people and bring them into your systems, and like coalesce them, adopt them, and adjust them to the way you are, so that like it's like putting in a new part that just lets the flow smoother and wider and more coming in. So like really stimulating short-term type relationships, and also really stimulates our creativity on a like cutting edge kind of way. So there's like artistic energy that can even be tapped into there. And then on Sunday, the sun squares Jupiter and quincunxes Neptune, and that on really early Monday morning is the final third hit of the Jupiter-Neptune sextile that's been also running in the background all of this year. So that one's going to start letting go, which, like I said, in the monthly is a little bit of a bummer, in the sense that it has been one of the only solving, like a solve on a lot of the wounds that we've been having this year. A lot of people finding their spiritual path, or finding or adjusting their values, their ideals based on what they're seeing. And the sun, when it's squaring Jupiter, it wants to take more in. It's exciting and it's positive. And when Jupiter and Neptune are together like that, they're very interested in like just like the idealistic part of life, and trying to get our ideals, find opportunities to get our ideals put into action. So like the sun, Jupiter can like give a lot of that energy and push it forward. And it's almost like, if anything, just making sure that our values are good values for us. They're not too slippery, because that Sun Neptune thing can sometimes give us like, oh yeah, we need some adjustments here in the way we look at things for this to like work a little bit better. But some really, really nice energy next weekend to tap into, despite being in the middle of like really, a peak time of like purging and transformation before the beginning of a new age, when that Jupiter Saturn conjunction at 1 degree Aquarius occurs early next year. All right, this is Matt Lawton. This is the Astrological Winds channel. This is a free service, and if you know of anyone who would be interested in hearing the blog, I please would encourage you to pass it on. That's the only thing I ask to do for this. Please sign up as a follower on YouTube and turn your notifications on too, so that you know when I post it. And yes, I try to social media bomb some of you, but I don't get to everyone every week. If you don't want to be social media bomb, let me know. My email is mattHue823@gmail.com. So I'm available for all kinds of astrological readings. I will work with your budget. If we'll figure something out. If you can't afford my regular prices, we'll get something done if you're in need of a reading. So let me know, and just email me. And like I said, please share the link to the channel with anyone that you be thinking that might be interested in it. That's the best you can do to repay me for the service. I thank you all for the really positive responses I've been getting. And until next week, we continue to ride these waves, go through this birthing process of a new age. But like I said, next weekend in particular, look for like new experiences, new people, that you can really get a lot of good new information for yourself and add to that and get some new exciting connections. All right, until next week, this is Matt Lawton signing off on the Astrological Winds channel.